Okay, take a moment and close your eyes. Picture yourself in online class. You probably looked at me like, what are you talking about? I get it. But did you look closely? Were you actually looking at the screen while your professor was talking? Or did you have your phone on your hand? Or were you texting? Or you were probably like daydreaming. You were probably not even paying attention. Now, where am I getting to this? It's the fact that we're in online class. And I feel like students who are taking online class, which is all of us, don't have the same support, are known to struggle towards technology-wise, and they are known to not learn the same. I feel like technology and online class mixed together is known to affect the way that we learn, and it's going to affect the way that we grow and trying to become something that we want to be. I feel like online class should have more support. So I first wanted to start off by talking about how the limited of interaction we have with students and professors. So basically, part of your life where you're gonna have to go to one place to another and having to interact with people. And this is the whole reason why we're taking this class, to be able to stand up and able to present to a bunch of students. Being able to present and after getting information, feedback about what you did wrong or what you could work on. The fact that we're in online class is not easy. It's not easy to do that anymore because most of us don't even see each presentations of each student. We're assigned to look at the presentations and actually grade them, but it's not the same. That's what I'm trying to point out. Like, us being like able to like have class like still is good, but like the fact that we had to film like our presentations and having to post them, it's something that I never pictured that I was gonna have to do. Like, I thought I was gonna have to present, having to have panic attacks every morning before I present, and just standing there in front of the whole class while they stare at me, and I have to be like, okay, I have to get this presentation done. It's just crazy how one thing could switch to another. And I just feel like that's the reason why I feel like we have a limited interactions, and it shouldn't be like that. That's one of the cons that I believe online school has brought to us. Secondly, technology is known to have one of the biggest cons in having online classes, because not only the fact that most students can't even or probably can't even afford a laptop, or the only resource they have or technology they have to have online class is their phone. And sometimes our Wi-Fi is known to be really slow, or sometimes our Wi-Fi just cuts off. What if we're doing an assignment and it's due at 11:59? You're working on the assignment, and let's just say your Wi-Fi decides to cut off at 11:45. You're waiting and waiting. You're like, I have some extra time. But yet, it never comes back on. You can't do anything about that. And the next thing you know, your professor says there's no late work. But you try to explain to him what happened to your Wi-Fi. What if the professor doesn't even believe you? Those are the type of issues that we go through if we have online classes. And I know the fact that us as students, we're in a transition going to online classes. I know some professors are being nice about the fact that we are going to have some issues throughout the way, and they are accepting some of our work. But you're going to have some professors who won't even accept late work at all, and they won't even care if your Wi-Fi shut off, because their main excuse will be, you had the whole day. Why didn't you do it during that time? Why did it have to be at 11:45? Or why did you have to do it last minute? It's just the fact that technology is a huge con in having online classes, because you never know what can happen. And you can't control technology, because technology could work and it cannot. So that's another reason why I believe that it's a con. Lastly, I wanted to talk about how online classes is known to have a lack of one-on-one teaching. Basically, how the fact that when you are in a Zoom class, there's a high chance that students won't ask the question during that moment because they're too afraid of like what other people are going to think. And that's known to have a lack of education for the students, because not only that, but the student's never going to learn, or it's never going to have the answer to the question because they never asked it. Or if they decide to ask it right like after and try to email the professor's not going to answer right away. As the resources where it's community college review, someone points out how like students in online classes are sometimes left to guess what to do for certain assignments when the directions are unclear, especially if they never get that email answer to their question. So that basically points out how like a professor's not going to answer right away. He or she is going to take his time in answering their question or the email that someone sends them, because they're so busy answering other things, having to grade other things. Like, it's crazy how time does go quickly, but the next thing you know, your assignment is due and you don't even know what to do. That's why I believe that there's too many problems in the fact that we're transitioning to online, because at the end of the day, most of the things that we're supposed to learn are known to be not on the list because we're just spending too much time focusing on one topic. And you can't even learn or move on after you find out that answer. In conclusion, I feel like online classes is just known to have too many problems aside to it. I feel like online classes will cause effect in trying to interact with people. It is known to have technology difficulties, and it is also known to not have the right education, like learning with someone or having to learn the topic correctly. I feel like online classes should have at least a little bit more support, or having like a better organization, because at the end of the day, we're the ones learning and we're the ones who are gonna learn, and that's may or may not affect us in the future, because depending on our major or what our dream job is gonna be, if we learn something the wrong way, it's gonna affect the way we're gonna work, because if we get something wrong, it does bring us down. And not only that, but we may have online classes during the fall for next year, and it's going to be a whole new transition again, and most professors I know don't even like the fact that we're doing online classes because it brings them too much stress. And I feel like I would rather have class online. I would rather have class in a class than having it online, because having class in an actual room has way more and better opportunities than having it online. I feel like now when I go to class, I'll make sure to enjoy every minute of it, because it's way different than having it in a laptop. Even though I could be cozy in bed, I'd just rather be in a class, because you're able to hear everyone's opinion quickly without anyone cutting off. You're able to ask questions and get your answer right away. And that's why I believe that online classes should have way more support. And I believe that there's a lot of cons in having online classes. Thank you.